I'm trying to piss you off, and you're not taking the bait.
I'm pretty sure you could look at my face and you could tell I'd been running through it.
I know murderers that are now pastors.
Yeah.
Read your Bible again, because you missed about 90% of it, apparently. All right, hello and welcome back to Raw Recovery. I'm Dillon.
Kris.
And today, dang it, not today. Yesterday, as of this being posted, was International Overdose Awareness Day.
Awareness Day.
And Kris posted a post about that on the Facebook group. She's the one that does all the posts on that. Which, by the way, now reaching over 1,900.
Yep. 1,946
members on the Facebook group. So that's insane. To me, anyway. I'm really happy with that. So thank you. And to that post that Kris made about yesterday being what it is, one of the members on the group is Angela Hillstrom, and she posted a comment to it that is a poem. And but first she I guess it's just really how she feels on that day. Mm-hmm. And then after that is the poem about recovery. But I'm going to read the whole thing. And forgive me if I mess things up, because this is the first time that I'm reading it out loud. So, and I'm dyslexic and I have a stutter, so this will be exciting. So, all right, let's see what I can do with it. All right. Today has been incredibly difficult for me, and I'm a wreck. Fire and passion within me rages for those addicts that are still out there today. Today I feel like devastation, sorrow, and a soul that has been crushed due to the loss of my loved ones because of addiction. When I'm feeling off balanced, I am grounded when I'm able to write and get my stuff out, hoping that it reaches the right minds. Here's a poem that is more shareable, that the masses might be more accepting of, especially those who have felt grief or loss of a loved one due to overdose or addiction-related circumstances. The title of the poem is Recover Loudly. Feeling full of ruthless fight. The fire in me is pain. I can't believe this happened. Addiction, I hate you. For every soul you've stolen, for every family you've broken, for the way you haunt this earth. There is nothing harder than grief in this life, but to bury the young before they've even had a chance to live, to love, or to breathe freely. The weight of it is crushing. Today is heavy. My family bleeds. So many families bleed, and still the deaths keep coming. This battle was already raging before fentanyl came, and now it rips through us like wildfire. I'm angry. I am drowning in sorrow, but I will not let it silence me. We are sick on this planet. Body, mind, spirit, heart. We are sick in our relationships, in our hiding in the shadows we fear. There is a darkness here, and if we keep running from it, it will devour more lives. We need to turn and face it, if we're ever going to fight it. So I say this, recover loudly. Recover so loudly the whole, I'm not going to read that word, dang planet can hear us. Stop running to the light like cowards and turn to face the dark. I got a point on that here in a second. Only those who've walked through hell really knows its language. They have an empathy, understanding, and compassion that knows how to guide others out. We are the ones who will break the curses. We are the ones who must stand strong. For every soul lost, for every name whispered in grief, for every heartbeat stolen, you must fight. We fight until the world listens. The end. That is by Angela Hillstrom on our Facebook group.
That's very, very beautiful.
It's very good. And when I stopped and said that, I have a point about that. When she says in here, let me see if I can find it.
Something about the darkness.
Stop running to the light like a coward and turn to face the dark. I heard a pastor one time say something that it was basically the same thing.
Was it Stephen Furtick?
No.
It's a surprise.
Somebody else. Anyway, they said we for some reason we keep thinking that we are Ow,
what was the foot?
Sorry, earthquake. We keep thinking that we are fighting towards the finished work of Christ. In other words, we're fighting to get to God's grace. We're fighting to get to the light. He said, you have to stop and realize that you're not supposed to be fighting to get to the light. You're supposed to be fighting from the light. The work's already done. It's not your job to get to the covering of God. It's your job to go from the covering of God, carrying the light of God into the dark.
Ooh, I like that.
And I thought that was very. As soon as I read that, it was like, oh, I remember something about that, and it's very true. That's our job. Our job is to be the light on the hill, the shining city on a hill. That's our job, is to be the light. We're supposed to attract. See, here's the thing. It's interesting to me. Is darkness isn't a thing.
What do you mean?
Darkness doesn't technically exist. Darkness is not of any matter. So, physically. So, what I mean by that is darkness is simply the absence of light. There is no matter that causes darkness. There is dark matter in the universe, but that's what holds things together. That's not. It's called dark matter because you just can't see it. But darkness, like you go into a dark room, there's not a source of that darkness. It's only dark because there's not a source of light. Light has an actual building block, fundamental building block. Light is made up of neutrons, made up of beams of light. It's a thing. It's a physical thing. Whereas darkness is just the absence of that physical thing being there. And so we're terrified of the dark, whether it's physical darkness, and when you're like, afraid of the dark and you have to have a nightlight on, or in our case, a TV on all night, or lights, or darkness, as in like the darkness in a person, the darkness in society, the darkness in the world, the darkness of Satan and his dingbats.
Dingbats. That's one thing to call them.
Well, I mean, they're not all that smart. But anyway, like that's, the different types of, like dark, but we fear that stuff, but really we're afraid of nothing. It's the same thing as death.
I know you're going off that. It's just a shadow.
My favorite thing, I was reading it one day, or I wasn't reading it. It just came to my mind. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, for thou art with me, thou art the staff that comfort me. They got, all that kind of stuff. That whole verse, or verses.
Yeah, I only know, yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death. It's the only part I know of that verse.
I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod, thy staff that comfort me.
I knew that I will feel near it.
You got me beside still water. Sorry,
another earthquake.
Anyway, so,
I feel like you showed me a song to do with death being just a shadow,
Yeah,
too.
it was Misty Edwards. It's only a shadow. But anyway, God told me one day when I was thinking about it, he said, you're missing... You've fallen into the same trap that almost everybody else on the planet's fallen into of you've missed very important part at the very beginning of that prayer. And I was like, okay, that's great. What is it? And it was like, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. The word you missed is shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow is not a thing. You can see it. It's there, but you can't touch it. You can't feel it. It can't touch you. It can cross over you. It can pass over you. You can see its effect, but you can't touch it. It's of no physical matter. And I was like, well, that's very interesting. And then it was like God said, yeah, because that's what death is. It's not actually a thing. Death isn't a thing. It's perceived to be a thing because we don't see them anymore. But it's not actually a thing. We don't really die. We just go somewhere else. Where were you before you were born? You know, you didn't spring up out of nothing. You started from something. See, energy can neither be created or killed. Energy can be transformed. So the power in your house, it's not created. It's just taken from something else and transformed into the power coming out of a light. Energy never, it's not created, and it can't be destroyed. You are energy. That's what makes you you. I'm energy. That's what makes me me. You can't destroy it. So it existed before you, and it will exist after you. You just change forms. Death isn't a thing. It's just a shadow. And I was like, oh, well, I have completely misinterpreted that entire thing. That entire thing. And that's why I don't get really all that upset when people die around me. You know, it's like, yeah, I get a little bit sad for a little bit, you know, for a few minutes or a day, because I won't see them for a while. But I don't get like, I don't mourn just because I have really adapted into my core belief of who I am, that death isn't a thing.
I wish I could get that way.
Now, I haven't had anybody who has died that wasn't a believer, which means that I probably, unfortunately, you know, unless something happened in the last moments, probably won't see them again. So that might be different because, you know, then I won't see them again unless something happened that I don't know about. But
maybe that's why it affects me differently, because I've had people that I know are believers, but then there's others that I've had that I genuinely don't know.
Yeah,
you know?
But you know, the I guess the way that I look at death is that it, to me, is truly not a thing. Even if you don't go to heaven, you're still not dying. You're just going to hell, unfortunately. But you're not dying.
Yeah.
You don't die. You just change. You become something else, and you become the real you. The real you is inside of this meat suit that we're wearing right now.
Well, and I still have like a thing. I don't know if me and you've talked about it before, but I've often wondered too about, you know, if someone does go to hell, you know, when the second coming comes,
mm-hmm.
do you also get another chance to be like, oh, okay, I was wrong, and then bow down?
Yeah,
and then get another chance.
That's a big debate in the church.
Yeah,
is
because God's real big about giving second chances.
Is that
second,
question?
Third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah.
Infinite chances.
The Bible does say that when he comes back, he descends on the earth, and it says every knee will bow and tongue confess that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, that he is the Lord, that he is Savior, that he is what everybody who knows him says that he is, and he is everything that everybody who doubted him said that he wasn't. And he's not coming back as the servant.
He's coming back like a roaring lion.
Serving leader like he came the first time. He's coming back with vengeance. He's coming back with fire in his eyes. and he's coming back not as a peaceful or servant leader. He's coming back as a conquering king.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, it's going to be a heck of a day.
That's why I really love that song Crushing Snakes,
Mm-hmm.
the video that they have for that, because it gives such a good, what's that word? Narration? Picture? I don't know. But it gives imagery. It gives such good imagery of what it would look like when he comes back. It's got all those people that are in that big battle, and then their loved ones are all of a sudden there, and Jesus is going and he's wiping tears off of some of them, and then it shows him going and fighting the Antichrist or the devil and getting the keys from him. Like, it's such a great and then all of the followers too. It's not just,
well, he already did that.
Yeah, but it's not just him and, well, I know it's like
Jesus fights the Antichrist.
I thought no, yeah, you're right. That's who he's fighting in it. It's Michael.
Yeah, Michael fights Lucifer.
But either way, like in the video, it shows him it shows that battle, and then it even shows the followers. They're even helping Jesus with that fight. They're all standing in the back. Like, it's just,
I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I really don't. It might be.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. That'd be great
yeah.
fun.
I just love. I don't know. I'm weird. I love watching. Like, when I was little, you know how the girls, they like to watch Lion King 2 all the time. Well, that's how I've always been, just like big giant battle scenes. Yeah. And stuff like that.
Well, it'll be a heck of a battle. That's for daggum sure.
So I love, like, I literally listen to that song or the video.
Yeah. But the idea of giving another chance, it said,
Grogu, we about to fight over here.
Yeah, Grogu ain't wanting to stay on the shoulder.
No, he just wants to keep
falling down.
Stop it. Just chill, bro. You're fine.
But yeah, the idea of the second, or the last chance, I guess that would be, is it says every knee will bow and tongue confess that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Depending on the translation you read, but it says, as far as I know, I could be wrong on this. It has been a minute since I've read that part, but it'll say that still some people's heart is hardened, and even basically, yep, I believe that you're the Son of God, and I believe that you died for my sins, but I still don't want you.
Yeah.
Which would mean, yeah, you pretty much just sealed your fate there.
That's one thing that people love to talk about, is that God is a God of infinite chances. So that's why, and I think me and you have talked about that before. Why wouldn't God give that one last chance? He's always giving those chances.
Yeah. But there's, I don't know, there's an end to that. I mean, there is an end to the whole, shooting caboodle. So,
well, that's what I'm saying. There has
to be a line somewhere, I guess.
You've had, like someone that's, say, dead right now and they're in hell, right? We don't, like, the end times could be another 1,000, 2,000 years. So they've been in there for those 1,000, 2,000 years, realizing, for the ones that do realize, that they made a mistake. And who's to say that God's infinite mercy won't pass on to those people when the end time has come?
Yeah, could be. But, we actually got off on a tangent, because that's not even what I was wanting to talk about on this video. And that it's just that one line in her poem just got me, struck a chord with me. So that's actually really cool. So good job.
Yep. And we're going to make sure to tag her in the comments too, so that she can see.
But really what I wanted to talk about in this video is the...
Hold on, before we get on a thing, I've got to point something out to you. It's been bugging me. It is not a Facebook group. It is a Facebook page.
Oh.
And they are not members. They are followers.
I don't like saying followers.
Well,
though.
I know that, but I'm saying like,
I don't like saying followers, so I don't.
well, members would be like if we had an actual Facebook group itself. So you could say new people. You want to say that, but we don't have a Facebook group.
Okay, whatever. Sure. So that. But what I wanted to touch on today is the relationship between people who are struggling, whether it's with addiction or with anxiety,
Going through divorces,
fears, freaking
or even a pregnancy, a teen pregnancy.
Yeah, there's recovery is very broad, and that's what our
I wasn't meaning that. I was meaning.
And our show is about raw recovery. It's not just about addiction. It's about anything that you need recovery from, other than gym recovery, which I can also help with, but not on here. But anyway, the relationship between recovery and church. So I've been to a lot of churches being a drummer, and looking the way that I do when I go into a church.
Well, for some of the people that haven't seen any of our videos before, they don't know how you look.
I'm covered in tattoos.
Why don't you move your arms up a little so they can see some of them? There could be some new people that haven't. Tell you, when you get it up like that, you can see some of your naked spots.
Yeah, I have some spots I got to fill in. Sure.
You're naked. That looks weird.
I will. And there's more up in there. I just can't get my shirt. They go all the way up.
It's very odd. You never think about it when someone has their arms full of tattoos and then you see a naked area. It's like, oh my God, why don't you have any tattoos there?
Well, it's just like when two tattooed people have a baby and you wonder why they came out blank.
Yeah, we're going to have to get some tattoos on Mira. Not real ones.
Doesn't fit.
We're going to have to get Mira some press-ons.
But anyway, yeah. So I have tattoos.
You used to have your
and
piercings.
I looked, as my dad liked to say, looked like I fell face first into a tackle box. Have a nose pierced. I had that little thing of skin between your lip and your gum pierced. I had my ears pierced. Had 2 in each ear. So I looked, I guess what could be determined as rough.
No, I don't think it was rough.
Well, the way they acted, it was.
Well, that's because they're judgmental dark.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've been in a lot of churches because of drumming, and the looks I got were, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And then the looks that I got once I got on stage and started playing was, "I have made a massive mistake."
Well, see, I've got something I want to say about like churches too. And it's never happened to me. I've never met anybody that it has actually happened to, but I've seen, posts and stuff about it happening to people. But churches that, when you go to church, you're supposed to be accepted and loved. Like when I went to Journey and I was still using, well, I wasn't still using, but it was my very last day that I ever used. I had used 2 days before I went, and I walked in those doors that Sunday, and, I was just treated with the most absolute respect and love that I had never been treated that way before. Same as how they treat you at Love Lady,
Well, I'd hope Love Lady would.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I mean, though. Like, they Love Lady is supposed to treat you that way because of what you're there for. And that Journey, they treated you the exact same way that they did there. Like, I walked in there and I just had everybody just smiling at me, happy. Because I'm pretty sure you could look at my face and you could tell I'd been running through it. But, so I've gotten to have good experiences like that. Well, I've heard stories of people like teenager that got pregnant and she was forced to go kind of like what they did on Outlander, but it was a real thing. Forced to go before the congregation and confess her sin, confess that she, had a child out of wedlock, she was this age and blah, blah, blah. But then they went further and they would make her sit in the front of the church every day until that baby was born to show her sin of what she had done. And then I've heard other people tell stories of just how they were belittled and treated just so horribly because of how they looked, how they dressed, and it gave them that church hurt, and they never wanted to go to church again. And it's just like, that's not how you're supposed to be.
Yeah, no. Well, that's also the line that you have to walk as a church is you have to tell people the truth.
Yeah.
You have to tell people about, what you're what you're doing is not right.
Yeah.
Right. Like this is a problem. But you ever heard the phrase you get more
flies with honey?
Get more flies with honey.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of thing. By that I mean do not water down what the Bible says. Don't. We're doing good today. We're just knocking the crap out of these
everything.
Things.
I'm not used to it being this close to me.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Don't water down what the Bible says. Don't tell people that if they're living in sin that they're going to be okay. Because it's not the truth. But you can tell people what they're doing's wrong and still and do it in a loving way that doesn't make them feel like they're an utter failure.
Mm-hmm.
You can't look at somebody who's walking into a church who is maybe it's the first time they've ever walked into a church
mm-hmm.
and expect them to act like you think they should.
Yeah.
They're not. I don't even act like most people, those types of people, think that I should.
Yeah. I think I know what you're saying.
You
don't act like...
You get it.
Yeah.
You get it. I'm blunt. I say I'm rough around the edges.
Mm-hmm. That means he's a jerk.
I can be a huge jerk. Especially if somebody does. Yeah. Anyway, I don't like bullies. Just put it that way.
That's when Saul comes out.
Yeah. But anyway, you can't look at somebody and see their heart.
Mm-hmm.
God can. So when it is a delicate thing. It's a balance of what you're doing is wrong, whatever. But you still have to love them. You still have to let that person know that you love them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's ways to tell people that what they're doing is wrong without being a just complete jerk about it. Make them feel like a failure and scum of the earth, like they have no hope of ever getting to where you think they should get.
That church that Mama's going to right now, there was a lady, I think it was a lady. I can't remember if it was a man or a woman, but someone had come in off the street and they were using. And what did they do? They invited him in.
Yeah.
They, I don't know if it was one of their, because on certain Sundays they cook and stuff. So I don't know if it was one of those where they had food or not and they fed him. But if they did, then that means they fed him. They did all that. And they prayed on him. They laid hands on him. They prayed on him and they welcomed him. And I'm pretty sure that that person came back because they were treated with love and respect. And
mm-hmm.
that's what I like about those little small town churches like where she's going to. And then even though Journey's not a small church, they're still small enough that they can give you that kind of one-on-one interaction too. And that's what I like about those churches. They're very accepting and loving.
Mm-hmm. And that's you have to be careful because, especially in the world we live in with the new age thing and all this, feel good stuff and that crap. You get a lot of, there's a difference between accepting and, guess the word would be inclusion. So
I was going to say enabling.
No, inclusion. So like, there's a line. There's lines of you can't come here anymore. Jesus even gave us lines. He said, when he sent the disciples out in groups of 2, he said, travel light. And if you go into a town and they reject you, shake the dust off of your feet, curse them and leave. Like, okay.
I know what Jesus.
He said, don't cast pearls before swine, which means don't give people who don't.
Pearls?
Yeah. Don't cast pearls before swine or jewels before, depending on the thing that you read. But anyway, don't give. It's going to sound harsh, but pray about it, I guess. Don't give all of yourself to somebody who doesn't deserve it.
See, and I think that's where the churches they either go above and beyond and give too much and are too accepting when it comes to certain things, or they don't give enough. And they just shun them, make them feel like dirt. And there's not many that actually know the happy medium.
Yeah.
Where you treat them the way they need to be treated, but then once you see that things are continuing to stay the way that they are, and they start to become a problem because of certain things, then that's when you got to kind of be like, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jesus, who did he hang out with?
The sinners and the tax collectors.
He hung out with the drunks and the tax collectors and the thieves and
the prostitutes.
And the prostitutes. That's who he spent his time with. And when the church of the time said, "What do you not know?" The Torah, what they studied, i.e. the Old Testament. Do you not know the teachings and everything? He said, "Who needs a doctor, man? The sick or the well."
Exactly.
You're already here. They're not. My job isn't to convince you to stay. My job is to go get the ones who ain't here yet. God will take everything he has. He did already. God took everything that he had, everything that heaven had, and he gave it all away just for the chance that one person might say yes that hadn't already. He will take, that's what, he will leave the 99 in search of the one. That's what that means. And that doesn't mean that he's abandoning the ones that are already there. It's the same thing as the story of the prodigal son. That's what that story is talking about. That's what that parable, to use a fancy word, it's not really fancy, but anyway, that's what that story is saying. The prodigal son. The son that's been there was pissed off. Why does he get the crap? I've been here the whole time. Why does he get anything? He left. He went and squandered your money away. And you give him the ring and the robe and you give him another inheritance because he came back. And the dad's like, yeah, because my son has come back to me. And that's us. We're the prodigal son.
They had a very good, when I was at Love Lady, I told you that in Restoration, they had us watch, those shows and those movies and all that. They had this show that we had to watch, and it was called Aha. And it would go,
aha.
It was like when you get an aha moment, like an aha. God. Yeah. Well, not weird like that, but when God gives you,
or when somebody does something bad, go aha.
Yeah, but it's God saying aha. I don't think that God is like ahaing us like that. He's giving you an aha moment in your brain, making you go.
Yeah, or that.
And you go, aha. But anyways, it was a prodigal son one. And it was this girl who, she got her inheritance. And she, used all of it up. she ended up on drugs, and she ended up as a stripper. And I can't remember if she started the drugs before or after she became a stripper, but she was in the strip club, and it shows her, doing the drugs, getting really bad off. And long story short, I can't remember all the details of it, but she eventually ends up going back to her dad. Her dad owned a restaurant, and the other sister was there when the one sister left. The other sister stayed there and helped run the restaurant and do all the things. So all of a sudden, the prodigal daughter, she shows back up. And he's like, kind of like how the Bible says, let's throw a party because my daughter has come back. And that sister was just very upset. She was like, I've been here this whole time helping you run this business, taking care of everything. She became a stripper and a drug addict and squandered all of her money away. And yet you're sitting here opening the door up for her and letting her come back. And he goes, yes, because she was lost and now she is found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's the story of the prodigal son.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it did a good real life version of that too, because that's what happens with a lot of people. There's a lot of people that, they run away from their families, they get strung out, and in some cases they even become strippers or prostitutes too.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they come back, their earthly parents are still the same way as God is with us. They're happy. They'll throw their arms around them. Now sometimes they might be a little hesitant, depending on what all's gone with their families, but they still welcome them back. And there's some that will drop everything to go and help those children that are coming back to their families. So I thought that was a really beautiful way that they did that episode, because all of us in there had gone through that. We all at the center had done something. And like for me specifically, because I did the drugs, I did the stripping, I did the other stuff, like all of that. And then I had come crying back to God.
Mm-hmm.
And then each time I would mess up and I would come right back to God. And he was always there, open arms, like not condemning me, not nothing. He's just like, okay. And kind of like what you said before about, I can't remember how you worded it, but it's like, when you fall down, God's not standing over there like, oh, look what they've done again.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him this time. He gets down in the mud with you, and then he'll stay in the mud with you until you're ready to get up, and then he helps you back up.
No,
Isn't that how you said it?
That's Satan's job. When you're, you've messed up and you're down in the mud and filthy, Satan's the one sitting over there. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
See, I told you.
Yeah.
You're a failure. You suck.
Yeah.
You're weak. You're never going to make it. You think you ain't nothing. Look what you did. Even though he's the one that pushed you to do it.
Yeah.
Look what you did. You pushed me to do this. I didn't make you do anything.
Yeah.
That was all you, boy.
Like, you dangled it in front of me. What'd you expect?
And then God's over there wading into the mud, going, hey, it's time to come. It's time to go. Got something better for you over there. And he set you back on the path, dust you off. All right, go.
Yeah.
Take off. And then you run off into the ditch again.
Yeah.
And Satan, looky there. Told you. I told you. And God's going, you're good. Come on. And no, that's how the church is supposed to be. Going back to what I said about walking into a church looking the way that I do and did, my thoughts always were, why do they look at me that way? I look like the kind of person that they should want walking in here. They've got it so backwards.
Have you seen that Facebook meme? It's like people sitting in a room, and there's, a mom and a kid, and I think there's another person sitting off to the side, and they're like on like a little bench thing. And they're both I think they're both like sitting on opposite sides, and they're like, oh, look at him. He's not a Christian, or oh, he's this, he's that. and they're being judgmental about him, and he's sitting there with his Bible, and then in the little thought things, he's sitting there saying, Jesus, my heart is yours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a prime example of, people don't know. I see more people with tattoos and shiesty past
Mm-hmm.
that are kinder than someone that's been sitting in the church pew for the past 30 years.
I know murderers that are now pastors.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's
You
why,
think they judge people?
that's
No.
why I've gotten to where, before we started going to Highlands and stuff, it was hard for me to even want to go to any churches because I was so tired of, watching that. Because, we never really had any experiences like that in any places, directly to us. But you can always, when you're sitting there in a church, you can always look around and you can see. You can look at the person and you can tell how they're looking. You can see how they're looking at other people and you can tell that they're judging them.
Yeah.
And
No.
I don't like that.
When we walked into Elevation the first time,
Oh, God, that was amazing.
and the greeter at the door
Mm-hmm.
saw me walking in, of which, by the way, I was wearing I want to say a Guns N' Roses
I
t-shirt.
feel like you were.
And I had on my...
You were, because I have a picture of you and Gamora together.
Yeah. And
Gamora's our German Shepherd.
I have, my tattoos and stuff. And I walk up to the door, and the greeter's like, dude, I love the tattoos. And I was like,
Mhm.
I'm home. And then I walk in, and we're sitting there, and I see this dude next to a bunch of teenagers over in the teen section of the
I feel
sanctuary.
like he was tatted up too, wasn't he?
No. And
Oh.
they're kind of gesturing over towards me and
Mhm.
kind of nodding and yeah, dude, look at, and you can tell it wasn't look at that heathen. What are you doing here? It was they were admiring the stuff. And come to find out, that was the youth pastor for Elevation was over there doing that. And I didn't know that until a couple months later, and I was watching the live stream and he was preaching, and I was like, oh, that's that guy. That's crazy. I was like, that's pretty cool.
I think another good example of, just the judgment in the church is since Brandon Lake has brought Jelly Roll in with him, doing those songs with him, and I'm pretty sure that Jelly Roll went on some tours with him to a couple of places too.
They did some shows together.
Yeah, because I think one of them, he wasn't there or something, and Brandon Lake was saying, he wished he could be here, he couldn't make it or something, and that was actually when he addressed the things that people were saying, because people have been saying that Brandon Lake is now not bearing the fruits that he needs to because he's allowing someone like Jelly Roll, and they say that Jelly Roll's not a true Christian because of this, because of that. And it's you don't know a person's heart.
No, and not everybody's on the same level as you.
No.
And here's the thing: I would say that if somebody is acting that way towards someone like Jelly Roll, screw it. Let's just say it. When somebody's acting the way that a lot of people are about Jelly Roll, and he's genuinely trying to work on himself and work on his faith, then I would say, and he's honest about it and real about it, I would say that he's further along in his faith walk than the person who's judging him.
Yeah.
Because the person who's judging them is holier than thou. They're sanctimonious. They're self-righteous. They think that they have it all together. And the mere fact that they are looking down on and judging and saying that somebody like Brandon Lake is not a true follower of Christ, a true Christian, because he's associated with somebody like Jelly Roll, proves the fact that they are not where they claim to be in their walk with Christ. And it also proves their ignorance of what the Bible says, and it also proves their own sanctimonious behavior because of the fact that they can't see that Jelly Roll is real and they are fake.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't realize it unless they wise up. They won't realize it until they die. And God looks at them and says, I don't know, or Jesus says, depart from me. I don't know who you are, because they are not acting like Jesus. The word Christian means Christ-like, little Christian, little Christ. You're supposed to be what Christ was. And when you look at somebody who is literally doing what Jesus did as far as, dealing with people, and you're saying that's not a Christian, then you are doing the exact same thing that the Pharisees and the Sadducees did to Jesus Christ. And they're the ones that strung him up because he was going against their sense of what should be done. He was going against their sense of what was comfortable and their sense of what was normal. And it was that put Jesus on the cross. And so, arguably you could say, well, it had to happen. So really they were doing what they're supposed to do. And they were, as far as prophecies go. And we wouldn't be where we are now if none of that happened. That's why you also have the argument of, is Judas in heaven or is he in hell? Well, if he didn't do what he did, Jesus wouldn't be, we wouldn't be where we are. But, and if Judas didn't do it, somebody else would have. Mm-hmm. But it had to happen. Could you
imagine if it would have been Peter? How much of a twist that would have been?
Can you imagine how weird it would be if it was like Bill? Yeah,
there wasn't a Bill.
Just some random dude. Like Judas.
I don't even know if there was Bills around back then.
Like Judas is like,
Oh my gosh, what if it would have been John?
Like Judas,
Yeah.
But then it's like, who was it that betrayed Jesus?
Bill.
What? That's kind of a letdown.
What if it would have been John? That would have been a huge, with him being, his beloved,
Well, it seems like it'd be a big deal now because we know how the story played out.
Well, no,
but if it had always been that way, then it wouldn't be any different than what it is with Judas, because we wouldn't know any better. But anyway, those I would say that somebody like Jelly Roll is further along in their walk of faith than the people who are judging them, because they can't even see the fact that they are doing exactly what Jesus said not to do. But anyway.
Well, I've even noticed, because Machine Gun Kelly, he got sober.
Yeah.
And
as far as I know.
Yeah, and he's a Christian now. He's openly admitted that he's a Christian.
Okay.
And I've been seeing he had that new album, and there's some songs actually on there that's more poppy, and there's some that still has a little bit of his cussing in it. Mm-hmm. And I've seen Christians even on those being like, oh, well, I thought you were a Christian now. What are you doing making songs like that? Now, granted, one of his songs' name is GD, but,
Well, and that's... When celebrities become a Christian, they're still on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And they are very public.
Mm-hmm.
So they are doing in front of everybody what most people do anonymously.
Yeah.
They're messing up publicly. They're backsliding publicly.
Yeah.
They are they're missing the mark publicly. And so it's easy to criticize them because we see them everywhere.
Yeah.
But in reality, we all, still do the same thing. And if you don't believe it, go drive down the street in rush hour and tell me how well your face is doing after that. Some people, I know them that are just like today's version of Jesus, basically, of like their patience and kindness and love with people.
Yeah,
and
I wish I could be that way.
It doesn't matter what you do or say. They're just like, I'm praying for you, brother. And I'm like, I'm trying to piss you off and you're not buying the bait or taking the bait. Why? And it's just because they are that far along, I'm not.
Yeah.
And, a lot of those people have pretty rough pasts.
Yeah.
And it's just... There's a fine line between only God can judge me and you're supposed to judge other Christians. Iron sharpens iron and all that.
That's where people mess up, though. They want to judge non-Christians, too.
Well, yeah, that no, you're not supposed to do. And also, the Bible doesn't say to judge even your fellow Christians. It is to be the accountability for your fellow Christians. It is to be... Okay, I'll give you just a real quick role play of what it looks like.
I don't think we're supposed to do that kind of stuff on YouTube.
Different kind of role play.
Oh.
It's a common term.
Okay.
Wow. See what I mean? But the so you have somebody who I don't know, give me a scenario of what would be like sin in the church. It's and a Christian is doing it, whatever the sin is.
One of the preachers is diddling one of the little kids. Because you hear about that a lot.
Okay, so give me one that doesn't end with me expelling the issue from the earth.
Somebody in the church is having an affair with somebody else in the church.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Say I find out about it. Talking to everybody else in the church in conversation and saying, hey, did you hear what Joe's doing with... Give
Kathy.
me a name. Who?
Kathy.
Okay. Did you hear what Joe's doing with Kathy? No, what? What's he doing with Kathy? Oh, they're having an affair. Really? Where'd you hear that from? Oh, I heard it from so-and-so. That's called gossip, which is also a sin, for one. So you don't do that. The other thing you don't do is... Who did I say? Joe?
Yeah, you said Joe.
Also
Joe
don't-
and Kathy.
You also don't go up to Joe with the Bible and say, Joe, you're going to hell. And walk off.
Just the way he said, Joe, you're going to hell.
You don't do that either. You also don't do one of my favorite ones. How could you ever?
Yep.
Don't you know?
Don't you know your wife's worth?
Don't you know what the Bible says? Of course Joe knows what the freaking Bible says. Shut up. Okay?
Freaking Joe.
This is how this is handled. Hey, Joe.
Are you a pastor or are you just a congregant?
I'm just Dillon.
Okay.
But I know Joe. Whoever Joe might be. I know Joe, right? I'm friends with Joe. If I don't know Joe, I ain't walking up to Joe and going, you're going to hell, Joe. He's going, who the crap are you? Like, same thing as standing out in front of the abortion clinic. You're going to go to hell. Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't care. My job would, if I hear this, and I go to Joe's friend. You're friends with Joe, right? Yep. How good of friends are you with Joe? Oh, man, we've known each other for 30 years. Great. Need to have a talk with your boy.
But this is what you should or shouldn't do.
This is what you should do.
Oh, okay. So is that not? How is that not gossiping though?
Because you're not running around telling everybody.
Oh,
you're telling Joe's best friend.
Okay.
You need to have a talk with your boy.
Okay.
Why? What about? Come with me. Joe! Conversation. If I know Joe, which would be the optimal for this kind of situation, I know Joe already. I'm good friends with Joe. I've known Joe for 30 years myself. Hey, Joe, what are you doing tomorrow? Or do you have any time free this week? Whatever. Yeah. Whatever day, whatever time, whatever. Figure it out. You meet up. You go to lunch. You go to play golf. Whatever you do. Do you like getting frustrated during sports? Go play golf.
I thought you liked putt-putt.
I said golf.
There's
Not putt-putt.
There's a difference?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm going to go spend $100 to just get really pissed off and start throwing really expensive golf bats. They're called clubs.
You could do Top Golf.
I get frustrated at that too. Always chip it to the right. I don't know. Anyway, so meet up with Joe and you go, man, listen, I heard some stuff. And I want to come to you first. I haven't talked to anybody else about it. And I'm not going to, unless I have to. I heard that you're having an affair with
Kathy.
I don't know why those names are funny to me. And no, I don't know anybody named Joe having an affair with somebody named Kathy. It's just, for some reason, it's striking me funny. Saying it. But you know, I heard you're having an affair with Kathy. Where'd you hear that at? It doesn't matter where I heard it at. The question is it accurate? Is it true? Is the intel I'm getting right? Well, man, you know, it ain't been so good at home and blah, 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 whatever. Okay, that's fine. I get it. But I've known you for a long time, and you know what the Bible says about this. You know what God says about it. You know what your conscience says about it, right? Well, yeah, because I guarantee you, it doesn't sit right with you either, does it? I mean, they're probably going to say no, honestly. No, not really. I'm just looking out for you. Need to figure something out, man. That's called accountability. That's coming to somebody out of love for them and trying to help them. That's not spreading rumors. That's not gossip. That's not, oh, look at Joe over there. He's having an affair with Kathy. You know, you're going to hell because you had an abortion. Like, yeah, they probably don't care. So you doing that is just further pushing them away.
Yeah.
However, oh, you had an abortion? Yeah. How do you feel about that? Do you even feel anything? Does it bother you? Like, what? How do you? I've never known anybody. Just curious. How does it feel? They give you their answer. Whatever their answer is, oh, okay, cool. Hey, you want to get some coffee? Sure. Hey, you want to get some lunch? Sure. And you don't bring it back up. Our job is not to judge people. Our job is not even to confront people, usually. Sometimes you have to, but generally it's not. Our job is to love someone to their face and pray for them behind their back. Our job is to combat the enemy. The enemy is not the person committing the sin. The enemy is the sin that is in them. Our job is to love the sinner and hate the sin. Our fight is not with flesh and blood, but with powers, principalities, and the forces of darkness. Our job is to confront Satan and love the afflicted, the person who is oppressed by Satan, the person who is struggling because of Satan. It is not our job to confront said person. It is our job to confront the Satan that is with them and love them. Our job is to be the example of what Christ is to that person. Who was Jesus always critical of?
Pharisees.
Who was Jesus always loving to and forgiving of?
The Gentiles and the Jews that were not.
Well, there's one word that sums all this up. Sinners.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's why he was accused of being a drunkard, because he hung out with drunks all the time. That's why he was accused of being a thief, because he hung out with tax collectors all the time and thieves. He hung out with the people that the righteous people had cast out, because they were the ones that needed him.
Even hung out with the lepers. Well, I don't think he hung out with them. He just healed them. I
mean, he wasn't afraid to go around them. He went around them all the time. Everybody's like, stay away. You got leprosy. He's a leopard.
That's why there's I don't think it's in the Bible at all, but there's a part on The Chosen that I thought was hilarious when they were going to take that oil that they were making. The olive oil. And the guy, I don't know who he was to Caiaphas, but he was like one of Caiaphas's people. And he came out and he was talking to Zebedee, I think is how you say John and James's dad's name.
Zebedee.
Yeah, he was talking to Zebedee and John, and he gives like a list of things that if y'all have been in contact with or done any of these things, you can't come into the temple. You have to stay outside. And it got down to the leper part or whatever, and if you'd been in contact within the past 2 weeks or something, you couldn't come in and hadn't been cleansed or whatever. And I think John said, he kind of raised his hand. He goes, if it's been a couple of weeks, does that matter or something? And Zebedee goes, and like looks him down, and he goes, I'll go. You stay out here. And he just goes and he has to sit. And the guy that read the list off, he goes, I can't go in there either.
Yeah.
They went sat outside.
But that's the point, is that like Jesus gave us the blueprint of how to treat people. And the the Pharisees gave us the blueprint of what not to do.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of us, especially in the I guess civilized, quote unquote, world.
You're fired, Grogu. You don't know how to stay straight.
Grogu. My little baby Yoda. His name is Grogu, for anybody who doesn't know that. The people in the quote unquote civilized world, that's a lot of us are acting just like the Pharisees. Completely forgot what Jesus said.
Well, that's
what Jesus did.
That's why I have a hard time. Like, I can't even go and look at comments on stuff on Facebook anymore because it's just so much just meanness on people when people post stuff, and it's just like, why? You the way that you were treating people is why people don't want to go to church. They are why people don't want to follow God, because I think I've said this to you before. They think, why would I want to follow a God that has people like that follow them? Like, they're giving Christianity a horrible name because they're just freaking dicks.
There's one verse in the Bible that is very descriptive of what all of this sums up to.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that keeps hitting the mic.
Yeah. They will know me by your love.
But see, and a lot of Christians get that twisted, just like when Ozzy died and people were saying, oh, he's going to hell because of this, because of that. And it's like, because they were talking about the fruit of
the Spirit.
Yeah, the fruits of his Spirit. And it's like, you don't even know the man. You just know the portrayal that he has on stage. And when people would point that out, they would say that, like, you're just basing that off of his stage presence. And that's when people would say, well, when you become a Christian, you're not going to still show any of that stage presence neither. You're going to completely change. Why would he change how he already is on?
Which they do have a point to that, in some sense of like, well, if you're a Christian, then why would you continue doing the same thing? But if you look at what he used to do,
he's changed a lot,
especially with Black Sabbath, and then even in the early, his own solo stuff, he did tone that down a bunch.
Yeah.
He still had the bat. The bat was a accident. He thought it was a toy. It wasn't a toy. It was already dead.
Poor Ozzy.
It was already dead when he bit the head off of it, but he thought it was a rubber.
Didn't he just keep eating it, like just went with it?
No,
Oh,
he
okay.
just he tore the head off of it, and he saw the blood, and he spit the head out, and he's like, I saw an interview with him, and he was like, I thought it was a toy. I thought it was a rubber bat, you hang from the ceiling. I didn't know that it was an actual bat until I bit the head off and blood went everywhere. I freaked out.
Wasn't there a time too, like Sharon did something with bubbles or something like that for a show? I can't remember what it was.
Oh yeah,
and he goes,
what is this, Sharon? I'm the Prince of Darkness, and you got effing bubbles floating around. The bloody Prince of Darkness, and you got bows. She goes, isn't it pretty? And he goes, oh yeah, it's real pretty, Sharon. I'm the bloody Prince of Darkness, and you got bubbles floating. Ozzy was funny, man. But that's the thing, you don't know people's heart. You don't know what he did right before he died.
Exactly, and that's what people don't think about.
And you don't know how people change.
Mm-hmm.
He was laid up for 6 years. Couldn't leave.
See,
you don't know what he did during those 6 years.
And he a lot of the things they would say about, because of his name being the Prince of Darkness and all that, doesn't matter. That's what his name was. That's just what people nicknamed him.
Nickname.
Yeah. But
I mean, here's the thing, right? If you look at people, I know people who have been in pretty big bands, and they told me, like, the ones that you see that look like they're holding the hand of God, a lot of times are the worst ones.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that you look at and go, I don't really know about them. He's like, they're usually the ones that are pretty dang straight.
Well,
like, if you look at
Korn or somebody do something like that where they go and pray. Is it Korn?
Head, the guitarist of Korn, yeah. He goes out before shows and prays for the people who are waiting in line if
He's
they want
the
prayer.
one that's good friends with Todd White, right?
Todd White. And he actually had an article in a newspaper. Good Lord. How old am I? I'm actually old enough to remember when newspapers were actually
I actually love the sound of
the
newspapers.
real thing.
I would love to play with them.
But it was in a magazine. He did an article, and a lot of Christians were really mad because he prayed for a group of trans people who went to a Korn show. And he was doing his thing where he goes through the line, and it's like, if anybody wants prayer, man, I'm here to pray. And
the guy that was in Korn, or Todd White going to the Korn thing?
Head.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And so they were like, I want prayer. And he goes, all right, cool. And so he prayed with them. And then they were like, can we have a picture? And he's like, yeah, of course. So he took a picture with them, and he got the picture and he posted it. And he said, I had the privilege of praying with these people at this show in whatever city they were in or whatever, thank you for taking the time to pray with me. Thank you for the picture, blah, blah, blah. Real nice. And the Christian community.
Oh, I bet they had a fit.
Oh, they had a fit. What do you mean you're praying? It was bad. Comically bad. And Head writes another article in this newspaper. Writes an article in this newspaper. And this is where the article I'm talking about comes from.
Magazine.
Am I saying newspaper again?
Newspaper again.
Freaking A. How old am I?
It's been a long week.
Jeez. Anyway.
We're going on almost 7 days with no air in the house.
Yeah, that too. Anyway, so he writes an article in this magazine where he says the title of it is all caps, "Just Stop," and then a whole bunch of exclamation marks after it. And it was an article of him explaining exactly why Christians suck. And I absolutely loved it. I think I reposted it. No, this was way back.
How would you repost it if it was in a magazine?
He took a picture of it.
Oh.
And he said, do you understand why I prayed for them? You think I just went up to him and was like, hey, you're trans, you probably need prayer? No. He said, they came to me. And they said, Head, would you pray for us because trans people need prayer too?
Oh.
And he's like, freaking yeah. He said, what do you think I'm going to do? No, I'm not going to pray for you because you're trans.
Yeah.
So screw you and go to hell, literally.
I'll get cooties if I touch you.
He's like, no, I'm not going to freaking do that. I'm going to pray for him.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
Here's the worst thing that happens. Nothing. Here's the best thing that happens. They get saved. There's a novel idea. You love somebody, and they go, hey, you know what? Maybe there's something to this Christian thing. Like maybe they'll know you by me. They'll know me by your love. Maybe there's something to that.
Well, that's like,
who'd have thought? Maybe Jesus was freaking right.
People got mad at Brandon Lake that other time too. Remember when he did that prayer for that show or something? I can't remember what the show was. You showed the video to me when he was out there praying. He was praying with Jelly Roll Bunny, Machine Gun Kelly. There's one other guy, I can't remember his name.
That was Stagecoach Festival, music festival.
I'm pretty sure, I couldn't zoom in because it was on Instagram, but I'm pretty sure Jeffree Star was in that prayer circle. And then there was a couple of other people that was on there, and people had a fit. Because Brandon Lake was praying with his eyes open. Apparently that's a thing. You're not allowed to pray with your eyes open.
Bible don't say that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. But that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that because it really has no bearing on it. It's you've been given a blueprint, and yet when people follow that blueprint, you get pissed off. If somebody's doing what Jesus did, and you get pissed off about it, maybe you should take another look at who you're following. Maybe you should take another look at where your loyalties lie, because clearly they don't lie with what the Bible says because you're going against it. Either you've been listening to the wrong preacher or you ain't been doing your own research or something because you got something bad wrong.
Well, you know, that church that I told you about, I don't know what the name of it was, but it was the one that other church that we've gone to before. They had been members of it previously years ago. Can't remember what denomination it was, but the now preacher of that church, I'm trying not to say the name of the church, but the one that we went to for 4th of July. He had went to another church before. Him and a whole bunch of those people were members there, and he struggles with let's say he has bipolar, and he even had a suicide attempt. And that church that they were members of essentially was telling him that because he had those issues and he had tried to kill himself, he was going to hell. That there was no redemption for that, that he was just set sail. That's why now he makes sure now that he
read your Bible again, because you missed about 90% of it, apparently.
That's why now, with him being a preacher himself, he is very heavy on, acceptance and the way that he treats everybody. Like when I told
just loving people.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. It's just loving people.
Yeah,
it's just being a good person.
When I've told him my story, like he was so just loving, and I accidentally video chatted him the other night.
Oh yeah, you did.
I was on the phone with my mom, and I started noticing Mama couldn't hear me, and then my phone starts going do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. I thought he was calling me, and then all of a sudden I look, and he's just smiling real big. Well, hello. I said, hey,
how you doing,
He said, did you mean to call? I said,
nope.
No, sir. I said, I was talking to Mama, and somehow I pressed a button. Well, okay. Well, we sure do miss y'all. We'd love to have y'all come back. Mama said afterwards, she goes, well, that's a story for him to tell at the pulpit next week.
It's just love people, man.
Yeah, and
that solves a lot of problems.
And that's what I've told her. That's what I love about that church is they're so welcoming. Like, they know a bunch of stuff about my past. They didn't say anything negative about it. They wanted me to actually try to give my testimony.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do it. And he said, oh, that's fine. I'm not going to push you. If you don't feel ready, I'm not going to push you. You whenever you're ready and you feel led to do it, then you can get up there and speak. And I love that. And
yeah, it's not hard, man. And
No.
It's just really what it boils down to is the people who have the most to hide typically are going to be the ones, now, not everybody, but typically are going to be the ones that are going to throw the most shade because they're trying to distract. Oh, look at them over there. Look at what they're doing. Look, he's vaping. He said he's a Christian and he's vaping.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. That church that I'm talking about.
Sure freaking do.
I'm pretty sure that when we went there for 4th, you were sitting out there no, you might not have been over there with them, but they were all on the front porch vaping, smoking cigarettes, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there is such a thing called personal sin.
Yeah.
there are obviously sin, but then
Yeah.
there's also such a thing called personal
Yeah.
sin. That's a whole nother thing that we won't go down right now, but it is a
But that's what I like about that place too, is because they're
Excuse me.
like, I'm not going to judge you or say anything when I'm sitting here and I'm still doing this.
Well, it's nobody is perfect, and if anybody says they're perfect, they're lying, which means that they're not perfect because they're lying. So there's only been one perfect person who walked the face of the planet, and it was Jesus, and he ain't here no more physically. He's in heaven right now, chilling in the throne room. So guess what, Bobby? You ain't perfect, so get off your high horse, let your ego go, and shut up.
Yep.
Nobody wants to hear you. Nobody cares. Quit making yourself try to feel better by putting other people down. Maybe you'd feel better if you encouraged people. Who knows? It might end up better. On that note, it is time to end. Are you trying to get Grogu to stay on
I
the...
was wanting to see if he'd sit right there.
It's not going to do that. If it can't stick through your shirt, it dang sure ain't going to stick. Oh, that looks real good on camera. Now it just looks like he's falling. What are you doing?
Ha!
All right, good. He can stay. Wait, no, he can't because I can't see your face. No, all I see is... Oh, well, there goes Grogu. You know how hard the Mandalorian worked to get him safely where he needed to go, and now you're going to kill him? Jeez. All right, well, it is time to end. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the Facebook page. We have an announcement coming soon that we're really excited about. I think it's going to add a lot to the show.
Not Jesus' soon. Our soon.
Our soon, unless Jesus as soon has other plans.
Well,
But also, check out our merch store. Where is that at? Where can they find that?
I don't know the exact website.
I mean, it's on Facebook, ain't it?
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
All right, then go to Facebook and look at it. It's Shopify. So just find something that says Shopify on it and click it, and there you go. All of the stuff on there, like if you buy a shirt or a hat or a cup or a whatever we got on there, all that stuff, we don't keep any of that money. All of that money goes into back into this, so we can upgrade stuff and make it better for y'all. And it also, as we grow, we want to expand into not just a show and a Facebook page, but also having resources for people to help with their recovery and sobriety. And also, eventually one day, I just say it because I want it to become a reality. So I'm just going to say it out there and let God carry it around and do its thing in the world. But we want to have kind of a scholarship type deal of if you or somebody is trying to get clean, trying to get sober, and needs to go into a facility to help with that, but you don't have the money for it, we want to be able to pay for that. Not have any money out of your pocket to do that. Is this the...
Yeah.
Okay, so it's rawrecoverypod.myshopify.com, where you can find all that merch.
And we have personally designed all of the merch on there.
Yeah, and we're going to be coming out with more stuff, more variants of different things and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, go check that out. But we wanted you to know for sure that we're not pocketing that money. It's not like we're taking that and then going on vacation and stuff. It's all going back into this to help people and provide services for people who need it one day soon. Hopefully our soon. So go check that out and follow us on or subscribe to the YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok. What else do we have? Instagram.
We have Instagram, but for some reason the videos haven't been uploaded.
Okay, so follow anyway.
Yeah.
We'll get it working eventually.
You can still get to see my little quote pictures that I do.
And also sharing the show is the most important thing. Sharing the clips on Facebook, sharing it on YouTube, TikTok. That is the most helpful thing. So if you got anything out of this, please go do that. Help us grow this. We truly want to help people. It's not something for vanity, so I can sit on here on a camera with a microphone on my face and listen back to myself 375 times before it finally posts while I'm editing it. Because I actually am very self-conscious about this. I actually don't like seeing myself, and I don't like hearing myself, but here we are. We want to bless you. We want to help people, and we want to give people resources. So that's what the merch store is for. We also have some other stuff in the works. Bless you again.
Thank you.
And stay tuned for the announcement that's coming up. I'm not sure when I'm going to announce it, but it'll be soon. It'll be soon. We have some stuff to work out. Also, if you or anybody that you know are in a position and want and have the desire to give your story, be on the show, we want to hear from you. We have ways of contacting us. We got an email. It's on the YouTube. It's on the Facebook. You can message us on Facebook. You can comment to a post and say, hey, listen to me.
And I will message you when you do that. I've had a couple of people that have commented saying that they want to share their story.
We've had more than a couple.
Yeah.
Had a bunch.
Well, I mean, that have actually like commented on the post. Yeah. That have commented. And as soon as I get that, as soon as I see it, I start messaging them. And I've already set up 4 today for upcoming interviews with people. So yeah, go do that stuff. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who is newly subscribed to the Facebook. Lord have mercy, it's late to the YouTube. Thank you to everybody who has recently followed the Facebook page. Thank you for engaging, and we look forward to seeing you many times in the future and to talking with you. We want to engage. We want to be a community, not just a stagnant, stale thing. Like a snail?
Sure.
Or a worm?
I really don't know how that applies. Anyway, on that note, we'll see you next time. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.